something since
Show
it's 7
title.
after. Hi, guys.
Hi. Hand in your sweet spot. Hand in your sweet spot.
Hand in the sweet spot. How you guys doing?
Hi. Ow. Good. Great. Wonderful.
AwesomeCast dance break. They're liking the music out there, apparently.
Good. That's all that matters.
See how you're. Well, nope. Let's see. Let's check on Katie's shot. Nope.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, it's perfect.
I'm good. Let's do
That's
this.
perfect. Jeez.
Welcome to AwesomeCast. I am just a mouth.
I should probably bring up that other feed.
Show my knees.
Show your knees?
Show my knees. My knees are not in the sweet spot.
It was just a shot of her knees.
My knees.
Welcome to macOS Catalina. Do you want to learn more about great features?
Yes. Teach me the great features.
So I don't know how many times in the last like several weeks somebody's like, hey, I have like a 2009, 2011 MacBook. What should I do? And I said, nothing of use.
Well, you can't
upgrade.
I don't think there's a 2011 that you can update, is there?
No. No, I don't believe so. And the cutoff is like, I thought past maybe 2012 on certain models, most models. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know what you want to do with that. So the one they were telling me they're having problems, I'm like, yeah, take it to the Mac store because they can tell you what's wrong with it better than I can. And if it's worth moving forward. That's what happened with that MacBook. Or I'm sorry, that Mac Mini. I was really sad that Mac Mini stopped working.
Like I read a couple places, like there's a guy who built like a Mac OS installer for older devices.
That seems like a good idea.
But it says like right on like Metal doesn't work properly, so the Maps app doesn't work. Not that I use Apple Maps for my Mac ever.
Why? So just generally, why? Why would you do that? Why'd you do that to yourself?
I know why I wanted. I was looking at it. I wanted to run the HomeKit app, like the Home app.
Yeah, it's not high level. That seems.
But right, it's so. But I can't get it on unless I'm running the latest OS. It only came out. Didn't it only come in Catalina? Huh? What? Where?
Effing what? The Catalina wine mixer.
So the only way you can get the Home app is if you're running the latest version of Mac OS, because it's where they added the new. What's the technology where they can port apps back and forth from iOS to Mac, and they brought over Home, the stock app, and can't remember what the other one is. So, but because I can't run that on the iMac, I was like looking at, how can I actually get Catalina on there? And I understand why they don't allow you to, because that device, there was no SSD minimal amount of memory, but I mean, I threw a terabyte SSD in there. It's a 6-core i7. I put in an additional 16 gig of RAM, so it's sitting at 20 gig of RAM. I mean, it could definitely handle it from the way I've modified it.
Yeah.
But it actually has some kind of different or some kind of dedicated video card, so it's above your normal spec, but you lose a bunch because they never created a bunch of drivers. So you're pretty much fooling the OS into thinking it's allowed to be installed, but then you're missing drivers to support certain
And then it's
things.
like, what's this?
Yes.
What important stuff.
Missy started a watch party.
She did start a watch party. She's been doing that. It's been getting us a lot of people hopping in. Are you ready, Katie? I see you put in a
I have a
awesome thing
TV.
and a backpack.
And a backpack.
Does it got jets?
Got jets. Corvettes.
Because you're Boba the Fett.
I am.
All right. You guys ready?
Yes. It's close enough.
That sounds like the utmost preparedness.
Yes.
That works. Welcome to a podcast. Hey guys, it's time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast episode 480 here from the Sorgatron Media Studios in the Beachview neighborhood of Pittsburgh, PA. We are ready. We got everybody on board here. We got all the regulars on board here. First of all, not here, because coming to us from Studio D is John Chichilla, Gadget Guru International. Wait, no, I messed that up. Gadget Guru over to Big Bank International. Gadget Guru International Man of Mystery. That is your new title.
I like that. Let's stick with that for now.
I'm sorry. Somebody was talking about James Bond today. Now it's in the back of my head. So
I saw the trailer for the new movie.
Yeah.
It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks fun. Also back with us is Dutters.
Hi, it's me.
She needs no other title.
I'm just Dutters. Nice to meet you.
Social media expert, I will say.
Yes, I do the socials.
So, how you doing? It's been a couple of weeks.
Good. I got stuff to talk about. I'm exciting.
Fantastic.
I'm excited.
I am excited. But anyways, this is the Awesome Cast, please. Oh wait, producer Missy is here and connected to a microphone.
Sorg's worst nightmare is back.
There it is. Yep. She's back. There'll be so much more control on this show. I'm sorry. So go check out everything at AwesomeCast.com, where you can find this show, and you can check us out on all the social medias and find where to subscribe to this show on your favorite podcaster. Or, of course, check us out, video versions on Facebook and YouTube. Email us at awesomecast@sorgatronmedia.com. Tweet us at AwesomeCast. And also hit us up on that Facebook for AwesomeCast, including the Facebook group, where a lot of great stories come from you guys that we put here in the show. A lot of great running commentary and discussion. Or, Missy, what was the post that you put the other day? Where it was just, which just exploded with GIFs of people going, because she forgot to attach the story, I think.
Oh, that was fun.
That was good.
No,
Wait,
that was what happens when you hit forward.
Yes.
On Facebook on your phone, and it's just
I don't trust the phone.
I'm not gonna actually do this,
Nope.
but I'm gonna make it look like I'm doing it, so you think it's happening.
It keeps fooling me on that too. But you can go check that and add your own gift to that over at the AwesomeCast Facebook group. You can also, we play on your Google Homes and your Amazon Echoes. Just ask for the AwesomeCast podcast from your whatever lady or sir that you're talking to on there. And of course, we're live every Tuesday on Facebook Live at 7 p.m. Eastern. This will, of course, the main discussion is happening over on the Facebook page, but we are streaming several other places. If you're on one of those other platforms, joining us live across a couple of Twitches and Twitters and Periscopes and YouTube pages. Please drop in, just like Dave Potter's hanging out in there. Steve from Pittsburgh Sports is hanging out there as well. And you can join that conversation too. Plus, we drop in links throughout the show when you do join us live. And also check us out on our audio partners, our friends at the 405media.com. Streaming us every day at about noon, every weekday that is. And our friends at Post Industrial Audio, that's sharing the great podcasts of the Pittsburgh scene. This is a good pop screen test right here. So, and also thank you to our Patreon supporters, patreon.com/awesomecast. Our friends at the Coffee Club level of Matt Weller, John Diggy DeGore, and John Carmen. And our friends at the Fan of the Show level, the longest running Patreon supporter and Katie's favorite Fedor, Mike
My
Fedor.
favorite Fedor.
And our friends at pjsmuseums.org. Again, you guys can support the show at patreon.com/awesomecast.
I feel like I should get a shirt that says favorite Fedor with just his picture on it.
There you go.
And that's a good Patreon level for him.
Absolutely. If you so not we give you a T-shirt, we make a T-shirt of you with your face on it, and we wear it on the show and in other places in public.
I think it's only fair. And then we put that you're the favorite sibling, so you're like one up in whoever in your family.
For all of you and siblings, yes, you're the favorite X. You can fill in the blank.
Yes.
Yeah. These are good ideas. Let us know on the Patreon. Send us a message if you're down with that idea. Anyways, so Katie, since you haven't been here for a couple weeks, let's catch up with you since you have multiple awesomes here this week.
I got a TV.
You got a TV?
Holy crap! And there's nothing
What?
attached to it. It's just the TV. No VCR, no DVD player, just the
Can
TV.
you got to be able to put the VCR on it, right?
I don't know. I didn't even try. I've had too much built into the TV that I haven't even needed a VCR.
Welcome to you skipped an entire decade, I think.
I think so. I did. Magically enough, I'm in the future.
to hook a VCR up to that, you're gonna need dongle upon dongle.
Yeah, so many
Probably.
dongles.
I mean, I'm
Probably.
guessing the back of that TV doesn't even have like the old red, white, yellow, or yeah, red, white, yellow.
Yeah,
Does it even have component?
It has component.
Okay,
Mhm.
then you could probably.
Yeah, because I'll just bypass. I'll just pick one of the videos.
Mhm.
Does it work that way? Wait,
Yeah.
do you just like plug into
Yeah,
one
usually,
of it? And,
usually, yeah, the first one will
oh,
then.
it just kind of
grab.
defaults back to the original thing. Interesting.
Yeah, you can use,
Interesting.
and then you could do the RCA cables if you're really fancy, like any of the
Mhm.
colors, as long as they correspond on the other end. So it doesn't
Mhm.
necessarily have to be
Oh,
red,
there-
white.
Yeah, there's that too.
Woo!
Oh no! Oh no! All the old school game consoles. I am. You saw the setups in the basement for
Yeah.
a while.
Oh,
there,
yeah.
there was a lot of that. I just have 3 yellows, and I'm just gonna make sure they all go to the same one.
Yes.
Yeah.
It works.
So what is the what are the big new features of your
Oh,
TV? What'd you
man.
end up with?
It's an LG 43-inch LED. I think it's the UHD. The
Oh.
Think, the AI. Words all misspelled, making it look cool. 4K
Thin Q.
with HDR. I got the HDR purely because I walked in and I was like, "Hey, I need a TV to watch The Mandalorian on," and they're like, "You're gonna want the HDR," and I said, "Absolutely, yes, I do."
There you go.
So now when The Mandalorian comes back,
Well, you can always rewatch the first
it's
season,
true.
right?
I'm already knee deep into Parks and Rec though. So
Oh, okay. I don't think that's in UHD.
no, it's not anything
HDR.
exciting.
So do they? I'm guessing they have a Disney Plus app just
Yes,
built right
they
in.
have a Disney Plus app. That was the other thing. I was like, I need Disney Plus app, and I want to watch my Mandalorian and make it look good. And so yeah, I have the Disney Plus app
So-
and my Netflix
What
apps.
what year? Do you know what year that device came out in?
Last night, 2019.
So that device should have been upgraded, I think, this week or last week, or maybe it
Mhm.
shipped with it since it's newer. It should have the Apple TV app now.
Yes, I
Mm.
was watching. This is awful. I shouldn't even say these things, but I was in my mom's cable on her Xfinity on my laptop and streaming to the TV because there's not an Xfinity app where you can stream.
No.
So, but I was
Mhm.
watching something from the DVR that I DVR'd on her. Yeah, it was. I mean, the quality was really not great, but it did it. That's all it was matter. I was like, look what I'm doing. I'm the future.
I mean, you should get so you were
streaming.
screen mirroring.
Yes.
If you have Apple, if you got a phone or any device recently, Apple TV, the Apple TV app will now actually be on there too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if
Yes.
I need to update this thing. My phone. Sorry, phone.
I think the window for getting the year free of Apple TV there, and it was like somewhere between September and November you had to purchase one. So but they were just saying like you gotta cash that in before like the end of this month or I think this month.
I think so.
Yeah. So, but excellent. So you're moved on.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're gonna do with all those VHS tapes you have.
Yeah. Well, it's got this really cool remote. I have to talk about the remote because it's
Okay.
really neat. It's got a pointer. Like there's a little icon that comes up, so it's a little bit
Really?
easier. Yeah. It's also weird. The weight of the remote feels backwards in your hand. It feels like how for years it was like the bigger part was in the front when you were pointing at the TV. The
Mhm.
weightier part is in the back. So it's a nicer balance, but like I'm not used to it. So
Mhm.
it took me a while to get used to which direction the remote went. But it's got a cursor so you can see what you're doing on the screen. And the cats like it, and I'm really afraid. Like every so often they'll be like, I see a thing, I'm like, hurry Netflix, start, because they don't pay attention once the show's on. It's just whenever the cursor comes up, they're like, ooh.
Can you hook? Is there an app for your phone, or can you hook up like a Bluetooth keyboard so you get more of a instead of having a cursor from
Ooh.
letter to letter on the on-screen keyboard? Is there an easy way to do that? Or
I don't know. I'm going to try.
check that because I know like searching Netflix and stuff makes it a lot easier if there's either an app integration where you can at least thumb something out on your phone,
Mm-hmm.
or you can actually. I've seen a lot of the newer devices where it has a web browser on it, and you can actually use a keyboard and mouse with it.
Oh, that's neat. Beep boop.
Awesome. And what's your second awesome thing here?
I got a new backpack. You can
Ooh,
see.
which
Look,
backpack
Can
did
you
you get?
see? It's Boba Fett's backpack. See it?
With jets?
Ooh, yes. No, I just had to disable him for being in the studio. I didn't want to cause any damage. But yes, I have a Boba Fett backpack, and look at this back's even cool. Look at me go! I just got that guy. It's got lots of pockets. I haven't figured out what to do with all the pockets yet. I put
It's where you smuggle your stuff.
I know. Shh! Don't tell people. I have snacks. I bet you I have snacks. And
Snacks.
oh, I do. Look, snacks.
Surprise snacks.
Hershey bars and power ups. Yes, I'm already filling the pockets with snacks.
And that's the what backpack is that?
I don't know.
The Meow Duo.
I don't know. Well, see that one looks fancier because it's fuzzy.
Okay.
I think I have the knockoff.
Oh no! So this is the.
I might have a knockoff of that because this one looks fuzzy in the picture. Mine is not like felty fuzzy, velvety. So I might have a knockoff, but it's okay.
I wonder how professional I would look carrying this into work.
I think
is there a policy on that? In that
I don't think so. I don't think there is. I mean, I think I should be allowed to not be looked down upon if.
No, especially in that environment and
no, you're cool.
The techie side, right? Okay, there's a question from the chat room. Dave's asking if there's a voice option for voice entry on that remote.
Yes.
Because a lot of them are building that in now, right?
I can talk to my remote and it does things. It's kind of, you have to get used to it because it's kind of just within the app. Like if I have Netflix up and I'm talking to the remote, it'll only search within Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had to get used to like having to go back out and start over. So I went to search something and it was like just pulled up these Netflix titles. I'm like, no, that's not what I was searching at all, friend.
And it's not cool. So it's not like a persistent like system wide thing like you like on an Apple TV or anything. It's just that app.
Yeah, whatever app. I figured that part out.
Awesome. All right, Shilla, what's your awesome thing of the week?
So mine, and I'll cover my runner-up later on in the show. But so I found this on Kickstarter. It's Potato Pirates 2.
What?
Enter the Spudnet. So this is a board game inspired by network and cybersecurity.
Mm-hmm.
The concept is you are shipping potatoes, and you're trying to get your potatoes to the warehouse from the warehouse out for delivery. And it's a card game that you kind of run your stuff over, like you build, what did they call it? You set up your warehouses. You can sabotage opponents. Like you build your delivery network for these spuds. And you can throw up firewalls. You can create tunnels. You can fire the Kraken catapult. It just looks super fun, and to me, it could make it rather amusing for anyone to learn about the internet and how things actually work. I don't know if you've ever watched. There's a YouTube video out there that's meant for kids, and it's about how the internet works, and it talks about DNS and firewalls and things of that nature. I just thought this looked super fun. So yeah. I'm actually thinking about picking this up. I didn't even know what is it.
If you're on audio, like the graphics on this, the illustrations, which I'm sure they take a lot off of the cards themselves of these animated potatoes, and even as you scroll through, as I did momentarily through they have these animated GIFs of everything. Again, explaining it. There's a how the game works video, and that's very well done. As of this recording, with 11 days to go, they have over 136,000 of their pledged of their goal of only about 11,000. So they're doing very well with it. This is good, and they made it. This is the second one, so they already made one of these games.
They already made one of those, and this is a card game. Mm-hmm. It's a board game, right? It's not like they're going to have problem fabricating this or actually getting the technology behind it to work.
No. But it's just production. Like we've talked before on with somebody that was doing the Drug Lord game. On the Awesome chat before, and yeah, it's just the production cost, right, at this point. Mm-hmm. So it's just amassing that, and typically you know what that is at this point. So even in the video, it looks like they have at least a small run of it probably that they can use for it. So that's awesome. So that's Potato Pirates 2, Enter the Spudnet on Kickstarter if you want to check that out. So, all right, my awesome thing is the thing that is helping you hear us right now. A couple weeks ago, I may have mentioned on the show briefly, but I picked up a new, our soundboard kind of died on us in the middle of game night. So I don't know if, I don't know, maybe that was too much for with all the wrestlers playing games on a Friday night or something. So I have been eyeballing some upgrades for the studio anyways, and we had to kind of jump on it since we had an 8-track board that had USB, and it was plugged into another Zoom H4n recorder just as a backup to record or to get a pure signal, not through the computer at least. And we upgraded to here it is. Here's some pictures. And so since I'm in the middle of using the board right now, but it is a Zoom Live Track L12. Zoom, again, like those recorders like the H4n, H6ns, I'm a real big fan of using for remote recording and everything like that. Really good equipment. So when I found out that they did a board, and I think this is a newer one too. They have a new firmware. I'm going to look at that. I don't know if this came loaded with it or not, but it's a 12-track board with a Zoom recorder built into it. So no more like connecting a thing, and even towards the end of that board, I felt like some of the levels were a little bit off, and was trying to sort that out as well. And kind of we needed to expand because some of the shows we've been talking about doing here need a little more complex setup. Hence having 12 tracks. I'm really intimidated because as I'm looking at this, all the like samples that they use are like bands that are connecting all of their instruments into this board. And once again, I mean, this board is going to do more than we're probably ever even going to touch in this podcasting kind of setup here. But the expandability to maybe even have multiple call-in computers, like so it's not just everybody on a hangout like we've had in the past for some of the other shows. It's an expensive board as far as it was literally 6 times what I paid for my previous board. So thankfully Amazon has a nice pay system on there if you can get it. I forget what it's called. Brian's talked about this before on the show.
Brian talked about it, and I thought I saw a post from him, and he thought they got rid of it.
But
did you get in under the wire?
I had just used it. I don't know if they've got rid of it, but it's very particular. Like only certain versions of this board had the Amazon Pay on it, which is a no credit. Basically, you just it splits it up into 6 payments, and it just makes a payment every month on the credit card that I paid with. So and that's it. So it was super easy to use. But again, other devices that are around the same price that I'm looking for these headsets for production, for live production, and they don't have this, or else I would completely jump on it and pick those up so we don't have to rent stuff for those productions in the near future.
I think it's pretty cool that you can, and I don't know if your other one can do this, so you can even use an SD card.
Yes, I'm actually. So here's
record 12 discrete tracks.
So typically
and mix later.
We would be they're discrete, and this is why it's great for podcasting. Anybody we have in here, no matter what we mixed on the board, if we had more than 2 people and I'd pan left and right on them, this show was always mixed down to 1 track. In the end, and then I would do a little bit of editing and cleaning on that. But now if we found out that Chilla, if you were coming in here and I had a weird buzz on you the entire show, I can, at least in the post, it doesn't help us with the live, but at least in the post, I'm actually, instead of just taking that, cleaning it, and then spitting it out, I'm actually syncing the video with their audio tracks. So if it was for some reason I mixed Katie a little lower tonight, I can bring her up and bring everything up to a certain level and adjust that a little bit on the fly. And that's the thing that I love about using those Zoom recorders is you get those separate tracks. And now at the end of the night, I shut it off, flip a switch on the back, and it turns into a USB SD card reader. It loads up on my computer, the same computer that we're streaming from. I pull the files off, throw them in Dropbox so they'll sync over to my editing computer, and then I throw them all in Final Cut, sync them up, look at the audio real quick, and this is a workflow that I've developed over the last week and a half of using this. So
very cool.
So then, if the video drops out for some reason, all you on the audio podcast won't even know because we didn't lose a bit. We didn't, because we had some trouble when we were first reconfiguring things a couple of weeks ago and had to reset the stream a couple of times. So yeah, it's a massive upgrade for this. We had something where a bunch of people came in for the Super Bowl brunch for Bowl Pittsburgh Sports. I was like, no problem. Throw another microphone up. I just need more microphones and stands now. So always kind of rolling with it, right? So no, it's the again, it's the Zoom Live Track L12. There's an L6, L8 version as well that's significantly cheaper. So if you don't need that as big of expandability as we were looking to do with this, there's other options for that too. And it really kind of it's nice. It's a little more expensive, maybe not what you want to grab if you're a first time podcaster, but if you've been at this a little bit and need an upgrade, I can definitely after about 2.5 weeks working with this thing on multiple shows, including client podcasts, it's been amazing. It was super easy once I kind of figured it out. And there's even like different settings and outputs. Like there's like 5 different outputs. So I can have like 3 different Chilla computers basically joining us remote. So
cool.
Yeah, a lot of fun. And hopefully you guys are also noticing, hopefully it sounds a little bit better as well. We kind of normalized I'm on a different mic. I'm on the same mic as everybody else that's in the studio. And you know, kind of cleaning everything up a little bit. Hopefully it makes the live stream sound a lot better too, is one of the main concerns, because I was a little worried about some of the levels and background noise on that. And I think we kind of cleared a lot of that up by just moving to the system and trying to mix it more correctly right out of the gate. So, all right. But with that, hey, you know what else is cool? And I try not to eat any over my new board. Our good friends at Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with a perfect pepperoni pizza here in Beachview, right up the tracks, as well as Carnegie, PA, East End, and PNC Park, home of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Our good friends up there have been supporting this in the majority of our almost 10 years as the AwesomeCast. And thank you so much to them for doing that, for supporting the show, for feeding the guests that come in here through the night for the Wrestling Mayhem show. And also thank you, Katie, because this is her fault that this has happened.
Oh no.
You're the one that started this. Say, hey, how about Slice? We're sitting here, and you're like, and then they never went away.
Yeah. We were so convincing.
Yes, we were. I just need to have Katie ask for all my sponsorships from now on.
Yeah, especially food ones. We're into food. We hope.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so we do have a couple of stories here. First of all, I do want to give a shout out to actually at a brunch, or as Missy says, I need to start calling it bro-unch with my buddy Chachi over there. TheGameJourney.com. I've been talking to him a little bit. He is frustrated with this list, by the way, a little bit, because he's going through these games and he's kind of discovering, like, I think people are just putting their favorite games because, like, whatever editors worked on this book or something. So he's rolling through again deep into the Sega Genesis games. He said, again, these are games I've never heard of. Subterranea, NHL Hockey, which what he discovered that, like, it was kind of a reskin of the World League game, the World League hockey game, and they got the NHL license, and of course that led into what we have today. John Madden, the OG original John Madden football for the Genesis. But he's going through playing all those old games. Go check out thegamejourney.com. Give a shout out to him. And also in that the AwesomeCast group, Riz has a couple stories. I remember my days, but guys, back in the day, it was like 2 or 3 years ago, wasn't it? There's this thing called Movie Pass, and it had so much promise, or at least it promised a lot. and they gave you a credit card, and you could go watch a movie. It was a movie a day, I think it was. $10 a month. It was great for a good, like, I don't know, 8 months. 8 months, maybe up to a year.
Didn't halfway through that though the card stopped working?
No, well, here's the thing. Well, at a certain point, we kept saying, "Oh, hey, this movie is good," and then there was a little bit of, like, sometimes movies might not be available. I was like, okay, you see a movie is good, you go to the theater, and by the time you get to the theater, because you can't check in on the movie until you get to the theater, which activates the card to use, you discover, oh, now this doesn't work. I don't know why.
Movie Pass is out of money.
Yeah, because Movie Pass was running out of money and trying to figure out how to pay for all this. Because, man, we watched a lot of movies. Well, it's going bankrupt. Also, they bought MoviePhone. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
They bought MoviePhone. The phone number that you call, hello, it's MoviePhone. Like, it's the guy with the voice, right? They may also owe money to 12,000 subscribers as it files for bankruptcy liquidation. I believe this is, I hadn't seen anything. It lists subscribers as they're listed as unsecured creditors, and not immediately clear whether they would get paid back at all. and I think MoviePass themselves are calling them unsubstantiated claims or something like that. So it doesn't look good for that kind of stuff. We kind of knew this. We kind of knew it was going to come, right? I'm surprised that it's taken so long. I don't know who would be on this service at this point. It was an interesting idea, and it got all the big ones. I mean, we are loving our AMC A-list still.
And that's what I was going to say. I feel like the movie theaters realized they were onto something and just ran them out of business.
No, I pay twice as much as I did for MoviePass, and I get 3 movies a week, but we make the most of it. Go to one Dolby evening show, Dolby Theater evening show, and you have paid like 3/4 of your monthly fee at that point. So,
well, the other thing that we talked about with MoviePass versus what we have with AMC is we also get, as Stubbs members with AMC, we get massive discounts for like concessions and options. They just added an entourage option that Sorg can go in and
so much easier.
Essentially pick up 2 tickets and attach me as an entourage, and then it attaches to my AMC Stubbs, and I don't have to get my ticket. He's already gotten it and set it aside for me.
Yeah, because it's always like, hey, let's go get tickets, and then the theater, no, even though they're the older theaters, like there's all numbered seats now, so you have to reserve your seat despite it being just a regular seat. And it's like always like, okay, I got K9, what do you have? We'll get K10, so you're beside me, kind of thing. And now it's just like, no, just pick it, put the thing in. It says, hey, here's your member. Okay, they got the ticket too. Counts for one of theirs, and you're good to go. They just added that in like the last month, 2 months. We got working in the last month, I think. So it definitely, and some of the other theaters have ones too. I mean, this is just good for us because there are AMC theater. There's like 3 AMC theaters within driving distance. So that's
the Phoenix isn't considered an AMC, is it?
No. There's the 2 out by the South Hills Village Mall, and then there's the one at Waterfront. There's also one all the way out past Blairsville, or not towards Blairsville, Murraysville, I guess is more out that way, out by 66. And
have you been to the Phoenix?
I have not. It looked like they just upgraded everything, right?
So they upgraded all the seats, like they're all electronic recliner.
Yeah, that's what. So now I love, and the Dolby has that too. At AMC, but that was a nice thing about MoviePass is we could tour the movie theaters, right? And it's like, oh, let's go to Phoenix today. Let's go out to Cinemark in Robinson, and have that experience. So it was kind of nice for that. Now it's just like, well, we have 3, but thankfully, even while traveling, like there tends to be an AMC movie theater near me, since they're so prevalent and bought so many chains. So, like, I know I found one up in Ann Arbor when I was up there. I found one down in Maryland when I was working around there. So it's been, I mean, that's helpful, too, for when I'm like, hey, I'm who knows where. I'm looking for something to do on a Friday night, and I'm by myself in, like, Kansas. It's like, well, I'll go see a movie and don't have to worry about spending money. So
that is nice.
So, anyways, Kitty, you didn't get into the MoviePass, did you?
Nope.
No?
No, I was smart. No, I just forgot. I knew this was all going to happen.
She was still watching her VHS tapes at home.
Yeah, you were like, I got all these VHSs to watch.
Why would I go to a movie theater?
That's right. I gave you my old WWE Network, which was a box of all the pay-per-views I copied, or bought the pay-per-view and did. Yeah. Also, Games Riz also shares this. PlayStation survey hints that PS4 remote play could soon be coming to Switch. Now, this is the thing where you stream from the PlayStation to a device, right? And this is and they listed everything. They even listed, I think, Xbox in this thing too. So, but I mean, again, they field a lot of questions with this thing. Some of them realistic, some of them, no, we're not going to go there, but let's see what people think about it.
So, I'll have to look. Does the Nintendo Switch have enough buttons to map out?
Ooh.
Control? So here's the problem I ran into with the remote play on the Vita.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a L1, L2, R2, R1, R2, like the top of controller and the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
There's not enough buttons on the Vita to map all that out. So you had to use the touchpad on the bottom to act as the trigger.
Yep.
I think it was.
And on top of that, the PS4 games, don't they have like a touchpad on the top plus there's a gyroscope in it?
Yeah. So like I was trying to play Spider-Man, and I mean, It was good enough. It was good enough that you could do a lot of the side missions and like, hey, go collect this or go take a picture of that. And that's kind of what I was using it for. But even that was hard because the button mapping didn't work. So there wasn't enough buttons on the Vita to map out the thing. So I'll have to go look at my Switch and look at my PS4.
I don't think you have like a second L and R button for one thing. So I'm curious how they would do
You
that.
do.
Do you?
Yeah, you do on the Switch. You do.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of.
I love. By the way, he's like holding up his hands and kind of
like
feeling out in his head.
I'm thinking about how I play Spider-Man.
I love that this is like your thinking look right now. Is this like finger twitch thing you got going on? So.
Well, I have a Xbox controller here.
Okay.
Which the Xbox controller, looking at it, could map.
Yeah, it's got basically the same.
Because you could do like the select start type buttons. You could do minus plus.
Mm-hmm.
You have the D-pad. You have two thumbsticks, A, B, X, Y. You have two triggers. You could port the Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to. PlayStation has that center button.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a touchback kind of thing, right?
Yeah, it has that center button, and then it has the PlayStation button. That's where I'd have to look at it.
Well, they could always do it with the touchscreen, like as far as your center button and the touch and everything, right? So they could translate, but this is a pie in the sky at this point. Who knows? Who knows? Hey, I use a lot of Google Photos. I use Google Photos for everything. It's kind of nice and the searchability, but apparently somebody else might have my Google Photos. Doug Durda of Yin's Love Barbecue, Should I Drink That, says, "Oops, we may have sent your private Google Photos photos and videos to strangers from Mashable." Apparently, yeah, they notified some Google Photos users that due to a technical issue, quotes, in Google Photos, some users' private videos were incorrectly exported to unrelated users' archives. 9 to 5 Google reported Monday. It was and this is on the Mashable. The technical glitch happened on November 21st. Was fixed in 4 days. On November 25th, it apparently only affected users that use Google Takeout to request a download your data export, which included content stored in photos. Not only reading through this article as well. Not only that, those users that did the takeout probably didn't get all of their photos. So if they did takeout and deleted their account immediately afterwards, they might be in a little bit of trouble with their content.
So like in the past with the whole people breaking into Apple and grabbing the unencrypted backups and then restoring them and taking all the famous people's photos and publishing. Who's like, if I accidentally got your photos and then published them and you were mad, Google's liable, but
Google's liable. Now, if you accidentally, I love that we automatically presume that you're getting somebody's nudie pics in this.
Yeah.
But if you take a nudie pics on your phone, you probably should deactivate your cloud. Here's your hot tip of the week, right?
Step one.
Step one, right? So, yeah, I don't know.
I'm also wondering and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I take a lot of pictures of whiteboards with a lot of information that I wouldn't want out there.
Mm-hmm.
And you're syncing those into iCloud and into Google?
Yeah, I'm syncing them into Google just because Google backs up my entire camera roll.
Okay, here's the other question. What's the difference between that and putting all of your company documents into Google Drive?
Well, I'm not allowed to do that.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
I'm blocked. We're blocked from doing any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because you have sensitive information.
Right.
So.
But I'm just thinking, like, I'm not worried about nudie photos. I'm worried about I drew something on a whiteboard and I don't want people to have that type of information.
Ideally, well, I would say Google would be liable immediately, right, for something like that. And then does that become a thing where...
But is there something in your agreement that says I'm guessing there's some loophole in the 50,000 page licensing agreement that we all officially signed when we clicked I agree,
Mm-hmm.
and no one read it.
Yeah. Katie, are you worried about your
My nudie pics?
your
I would be sad someone would get them for free. I mean, at least if I would
I know, right? I mean, at least like for charity or something.
something. That's
Yeah,
gotta
I
get
mean,
something
like
out.
that girl in that model in Australia that's helping with the fires
Yeah.
a few weeks ago.
No, just some rando gets them for free. It's not fair.
Yeah.
We should be able to trace that. Be like, you looked at it. You owe me.
I'll send you an invoice.
Yeah. We can back bill.
Well, did they report to anyone like who got whose pictures?
It doesn't look like there's any. Like it's just like this is a thing that happened.
Oops.
Look away. Smoke bomb.
If you're like that's not my dog and that's not me in Italy, then you may be a victim of this. So it really sounds like just a bit got flipped, which is kind of scary, but also like it was probably just it happened. So rolling back a little bit, Podner asks, who needs Movie Pass when you get Redbox coupons so movies are 75 cents? Good plan there. All right. Well, we do a lot of things around here, a lot of great podcasts. Like we were helping along the way coming up here, including this weekend, our good friends that we helped produce the broadcast is going to have Sally Wiggin, a Pittsburgh living legend. I've heard people call her in the last week when we've been talking about this. She'll be on the broadcast. It's coming out this Friday. But it's all one of our clients over at Sidekick Media Services. Let's be a sidekick in your superhero project over there, doing a lot of great work with a lot of clients. So the big video projects coming up this week that we're going to be involved with. So look at our social media. We'll probably have a little bit from those. And, of course, let us be the sidekick in your superhero project. Video production, podcasting, music videos, social media, website design, so much more. Go check it out and check out what people have been saying about us as well over there, and check out our demo reel over in the YouTube page and the Facebook. So let's get back into the stories here. We have a lot from the week, including Waymo. Waymo's self-driving vans will be carrying UPS packages in Phoenix. Of course, Arizona's already been doing a lot of Waymo testing as well. They are not. So in my head, what do you think when you hear this story? You think, is a car just gonna roll up, open the door, and I take my package?
Is there a spring-loaded like ejector seat in
yeah,
there?
does
that
it
the
like
package,
just shoot the
conveyor belts onto and it's on your front porch?
Shoot the package at my house and hope it gets
Guys,
there.
It says that it's not delivering to
I
customers.
know. I was getting to that. But we know
that was his point of what does this make you think?
We all have that visual to begin with, right? So there's going to be a UPS driver, but he's just going to be hanging out there playing Dr. Mario World on his phone until what if you fall asleep in the Waymo and the Waymo needs to like poke you to wake you up? Like, hey, you're here. Get out of the car. But no, that's part of. So this is part of a bid by UPS, I believe, to do this, and they're testing it out. They're not driving it to the customer, but it's a start. Man, that is an interesting idea to be just like an Amazon locker on wheels, isn't it?
Well, I'm thinking like that thing that they were testing in Oakland, where it's like the
robot,
robot
that kept like keeping handicapped people from using the sidewalks.
I think
exactly.
I just saw someone
but
just
if
posted
you had so I'm envisioning like this electronic arm,
mm-hmm.
like Johnny Five, pulling the stuff off the shelves in the car, loading it into the back of that robot, and
mm-hmm.
then it like coming out
Full
of the back
ecosystem.
of the car like Kit does out of the Night Industry van, and then it wheels it up to your house.
Katie, what were you saying? You saw?
Someone just tweeted recently. I was going to refresh my Twitter feed that there was another one of those robots was just sitting in the middle of a sidewalk on campus and just chilling the most.
I love it. I don't know. I mean, this is another step in it, right? And Where's the Amazon Prime van's gonna get to this point very soon? I'm sure.
Okay, this is what I'm envisioning for this. All of those little things are going to be put in the back of a van, and the van drives to a neighborhood and then just disperses all of these little things to each of the houses.
Jeez.
I want it to come from a plane, and they'll have little like
Yes,
Parachutes.
yes, they'll just like
drones.
boop, and then just the doors open on the bottom, and just this little parachuting,
Yes.
and they hit the ground and go.
But they have to do it on the ground first before they can put it in the air, right? That's what the philosophy is.
There's less stuff to run into up there.
Yeah. You're not gonna block any sidewalks up there.
Nope.
That was in an episode of the X-Files, wasn't it? The drone flew overhead and dropped the package, and then it parachuted in front of Scully's house for delivery.
Well, that must have been one of the new episodes. Haven't seen
Yeah,
those
it was
yet.
one of the new episodes.
Jeez. Related to this, and this is not a news story. This is actually the one I pulled was from 2018, but this came up. We're doing another episode of the Level 4 podcast with MathWorks. It does a lot of simulation for the car industry, and they do the mapping technology that's involved with the Auto Drive Challenge. And they mentioned a company called Voyage, and they have apparently been rolling out we may have mentioned this like years ago when it was first being announced, but they're making, and I've even heard this in conversation when I was at the Auto Drive Challenge. They're making an auto drive taxi service for retirement communities for them to get around. That makes complete sense, especially something like a retirement community that has a very finite road plan like that. That's got to be really easy to do. Even the University of Michigan, I think, also has, Ann Arbor also has an auto drive taxi bus system as well. I saw it sitting there when we were coming in for our competition stuff. So, but anyways, sorry, just got a cancellation for the next show. So, what else we got here? Dutters,
Hi.
what do you got?
I got. Just we get on. I lost it. There I am. Oh yeah. So Disney Plus now has 26.5 million subscribers.
Jeez.
And I put a little asterisk because if you read the article, a lot of them are the free subscription from Verizon, so you really don't know how well they're doing.
They're kind of giving away a lot of those.
Like,
It's just like, Apple just talked about, we can't count on any money from Apple TV Plus because we gave out all of them for free.
Free stuff.
Yeah.
But Mandalorian's coming back in October. I don't even think that's in the article. But this
By the
Did you
way,
BT dubs.
got to use that TV.
Did you watch the Super Bowl and or at least see the ad for WandaVision and
Loki and
Falcon
Captain
and
America.
Loki? Yeah, that looks awesome.
Yeah, that looks like a lot of fun. And I think is the first one coming out in spring, maybe? I thought they bumped one of them up.
They bumped, I thought, WandaVision up from 2021 to 2020.
Fantastic.
So WandaVision is October, and the Falcon Winter Soldier is, I think, August. Loki is still 2021. And then we'll be getting another Mandalorian. I feel like they're going to have a really strong back to school.
Yeah. I know the big thing is Clone Wars coming up here in this month, I think. I'm never getting caught up before this thing launches. Because I love, like, Clone Wars is good, but you just get into this one's about trade disputes, and I can't get into this still in season 3. But that's it. Although I did go down a rat hole, and I didn't bring it in here, and Katie knows this. I have now purchased both of the original Ewok movies.
Yes.
And I think I know something very, very hilarious. And after the second one comes in, because I got confused and bought the second one first, I thought I was buying both of them in a 2-pack. And I think I know why. And I hope I can show you guys next week after it comes in. Also, Katie, we're definitely having a movie night.
Yes. Is that the one that they used to show on it around Easter time?
Yeah, it was like a made-for-TV one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the Battle for Endor, I think, is the second one, and the first one's the Caravan of Courage. Also, the original Droids and Ewoks cartoons are also available on DVD, but somebody also kindly put them on YouTube. So, but there was a very droid-centric episode of Clone Wars that reminded me of that, and then I read a bit about the expressive eyes on C-3PO were like the ones in the original Droids cartoon in the 80s, and that just lost me on the internet for a while. But yeah, that's what happens. Anyways, what else we got here? Chilla, what do you got for stories?
So to bring up traffic on demand, did you see this? So there's
Yes.
a guy.
Oh, is this the wagon?
The wagon.
Yeah.
I heard about this today. Yeah.
So I think it was in Berlin, somewhere in Germany. A guy loaded up a wagon, like your little red wagon.
Little radio flyer.
Yep. With 99 smartphones. Launched Google Maps on them all, and then carted them down the road, and caused. There was no one actually on the road, but as far as Google Maps was concerned, it was a giant traffic jam.
Is that really 99 cell phones in there? That it looks like it should be more.
That's what the article said that I had, and I actually saw this article in 3 different places, and all had the same 99 number.
Crazy. They have a split screen, and you can see the traffic, like the reported high traffic, moving along with them through this. Wow. So this was just a test, I believe, right? And this was something that worked for Google, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought he was an artist.
Maybe he was an artist. Okay. And this is just like a side street bridge. There's literally nobody on this. This guy's like strolling down the middle of the street with his wagon. That's great.
And going back to the very first discussion that we had when we started the show with my errant Facebook post, this was the story that I was forwarding.
Oh, this was the
This was the
This is the original
Because my thought was, I kind of want to go get a red wagon in 99.
And just,
I keep wanting to say 99 red.
Listen,
balloons,
you know what?
but that's not the case.
And you know what the secret is? If you are somebody that with Waze and everything, some people in certain neighborhoods, they become cut across neighborhoods. Yeah. Actually, we are one of these neighborhoods. I think about this. So if you want everybody to
avoid cutting through your
neighborhood because they're all using GPS, this trick. It's going to be a lot of data plan from AT&T. It's going to be, but I mean, even if you're like, hey, here's 5 phones all running Google Maps right now during rush hour, it's going to say, don't go that way. Right?
Yeah.
In the long run.
It's interesting. It would be interesting to see what does it take to get your street to turn red. Like, does it take 5 phones? 10 phones? I mean, this guy had 100. But it's an interesting idea, as well as think about it if you wanted to control a traffic pattern.
Or if you want to divert people past your place of business.
That's very...
Now, that versus taking out an ad on Waze with a little pin on it that lets me know where every Sheets is, I don't know which is more cost-effective when you're paying for this many. Katie,
Okay.
you've looked at geolocation and things like that. Could you imagine any interesting effects to this?
It just sounds like fun. Like, I just really want to mess with people. Like, you would just be like, oh, yeah, I'm tired of someone, this road being blocked off, traffic in the morning. I'm just going to make it look like part of the West End's closed.
All right. So here's what we're gonna do. There's a new Boost mobile down the street. There's a what's the other one?
Hey, can we borrow some phones, guys?
We're gonna get some phones.
Can we get a sponsorship?
We're gonna get some local kids, and they're just gonna walk up and down Broadway
Yes.
With red wagons.
with red wagons. Yes.
This will be like, oh, wow, you're moving pretty slow. Is there traffic? Yes, there is.
How did you get sponsored by Boost Mobile and Radio Flyer? It doesn't seem right for a tech podcast. They're like, well, it's a funny story.
Tell you.
So no, that's fantastic. No, that was a fun one, and people are like, kind of like, wait, what does this mean? And also like the what was it? Something the GPS is not terribly accurate either. So like that big area that your car supposedly encompasses, I'm surprised that it gets my speedometer on Waze so accurate. To be honest, but that's one way to do it, I guess. So if you guys have any fun tricks to do with red wagons, let us know. What else do we got? Chilla, what's going on with Mac OS? Power of the cloud.
So this is NVIDIA announced their GeForce Now, which is their cloud compute answer to Stadia and.
Yeah, this has been on Android for a while, right?
Yeah, and what's interesting to me is it's not like Microsoft's xCloud or Google Stadia where you're paying subscriptions or you're whatnot. I mean, there is a subscription to this, but you're not getting a catalog of games. You're just getting the GPU power of the internet. There are paid or free options where you can. A free membership provides 1 hour sessions. It doesn't sound like there's a limit to how many sessions you can run, but you can't play for more than an hour.
There are ads for Google Stadia in this article, by the way. So, of course.
But I thought it was interesting because it brings GPU power to the Mac. So
interesting.
And
so
when you think about it, NVIDIA and Apple can't get along to write drivers and whatnot. But it also brings, to me, it could potentially bring high-end gaming to low-end PCs or whatever for that matter.
So this is a problem I have. I picked up a copy of Street Fighter V on Steam, and I was like, oh, I got one computer that runs it, but now I have to dedicate that computer back to a streaming project that we have going on. So now I have nowhere to play my Street Fighter V. And I don't have a PlayStation, so I'm not buying it for the console, right?
Well, this will help you.
Well, in this case, it's NVIDIA promises with GeForce Now. So it's basically, I believe this is connected with Steam games, right?
Yeah, because they're saying that because you're not buying from them, and one of the primary ways to use the service for games is through Steam.
So I have plenty of games on Steam that don't play very well on my couple of PCs I have just for general around the house stuff. So this would be generally my workaround for that.
It'd be interesting. Try it out because at least you can play an hour at a time for free from what this is showing. I don't have any games on Steam that I could try out today with this, but
I got a bunch. We'll look into that for you then. Oh my God. I don't know when we'll have the time for it, but I'll take a peek at this. So,
cool.
Katie, what did Ancestry.com do?
There was a police warrant. It's actually in Pennsylvania that wanted some information from Ancestry.com, and Ancestry.com was like, "No, we're not going to give you the information."
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's just like, oh yeah, I forgot that they.
This has been they're not like the 23andMe with the DNA testing that I know has led to warrants or something somewhere along the line too. But like this one is this is just family tree stuff, right?
Yeah.
Oh wait, they do DNA.
Well, they do. They work with 23andMe. But
the warrant was to access user DNA records on a technicality. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So they're playing ball.
Yeah, they do not cooperate with law enforcement.
They're playing ball, but I mean they're not gonna just give it away.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta go through the channels. So I mean at least they're being sensitive to it.
Yeah. So the good thing they're saying no, don't touch our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But
don't touch our DNAs.
No touch.
Just wait till it accidentally leaks, and then they'll have the data anyway.
Yeah, somebody downloaded your DNA instead of mine and something. This is a little tip. So we had, well, first of all, I thought this was interesting. I don't know if it's still Apple had taken over they had a Apple arcade ad on the Super Bowl. And they had a nice takeover of their Apple.com. I posted a video of it over on the Facebook and the Twitter a little bit ago. So did you guys see this? Like,
it's if you go to Apple.com right now, the
it's still there.
What's the lava guy?
Yeah, the hot lava. Yeah.
Like he jumps down from the screen and bounces across the iPhone 11.
So and as you go, take your time and go to each section. Like Sonic in the car, in his racer car, drives across a MacBook. The iPad. You have the guys from Sasquatch. Was it Sneaky Sasquatch?
We play that a lot in our house.
Yeah, I know Missy was playing it for a bit. The Oceanborn guy, which is a really good game, by the way. It pops up and you see everybody. I mean, I'm hoping that means that these are relatively, other than like Sonic the Hedgehog is in here, and one of the other games that it shows off, there's Pac-Man going across. There's a Pac-Man game, of course, a couple of Lego games. I'm still loving playing Lego Brawl from time to time as well. And I know Missy's been playing Dead End Job, which is like kind of a Ghostbuster game of sorts. Missy, I don't know, you could probably talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, it's a Ghostbuster game. I mean, it's not obviously Ghostbusters.
No, it's like
it's a comedic type of.
Comedic. It's like if a Ghostbuster was like your plumber.
That is an accurate description. Yes,
is my take on it. So definitely.
And we're not talking like Mario plumber. We're talking about like a real life plumber. Like, you know, almost plumber's crack type of plumber.
Yeah, I've been really enjoying. It's still like every once in a while I'll pop up in the arcade and there'll be like, I'd say at least once every 2 weeks I'm finding a game I want to download and check out. Plus the ones that I'm continually playing, dropping into like the skate game, which after the controller thing. By the way, since Missy's co-opted my controller setup from my phone, it seems that I found in my Amazon cart another Xbox controller and another one of those attachments for my Xbox controller, so that she can have her own. To play arcade games on there.
I think Cross ordered one too.
Yeah. Oh no, this is big. I mean, for $5 a month, and I don't get into Game Pass mostly just because my backlog of Xbox games. But it feels worthwhile. Like even I'm not playing it like a lot, but I play enough to be worthwhile. To be like, hey, I have a minute. I'm gonna play a little bit of this game. You know, and nothing is to what the golf got represented in the ad that excited me because what the golf is like my favorite. What the hell is this video game?
Well, here's my thing with the video games.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be sitting here waiting for something to finish up on my computer, and it's not going to be long enough for me to load up something on a console game. I just pull up my phone and play a level of something.
Did you have you jumped into Cat Quest or Explode Kitties? Yeah,
I have not. You need to put those back on my phone.
Put those back on your phone.
Those back on my phone.
You know how to get in. Go in the arcade. Go into the App Store. Get the arcade button, and you'll find them right there. They're like on the front page. So at least I'm seeing them over here.
You know, I have the worst tech support ever, guys.
Anyways, there was something else I wanted to touch on. Oh well, that's enough for right now. Chilla at Chilla on the Twitters.
John Chichilla on the Facebooks, chillatech.net, Chilla something or other on the Instagrams.
And the Dutters is places doing Dutters things.
I'm Duttering somewhere. I'm Kate Marie PGH on Instagram. I think that's the most interesting place I'm at.
Yes,
I'm occasionally tweeting Kate Dutters.
Wonderful pictures with your niece from this weekend.
Yay! Yeah, she's a cutie pie. She's funny. She cracks me up.
So go check that out. Of course, check out Sorgatron on the Twitter and all your social medias, including Byte, but I haven't really made anything yet. And Missy, producer Missy, she's around the internets as well.
Stuff and things.
But mostly just doing...
Mostly Sidekick Media Services.
There you go. A lot happening there of all medias, of DVDs that Katie can't play on her TV. So... Although I may call you up for testing some apps.
Yes,
for other things we're doing. So tell me, what is this? How does this show look on your TV over here? Can you get to it? But actually, I might be asking you that soon. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, chat room. I saw you guys hanging out in there all night, popping in and out. Oh man, Nick Farah is in there. Missy's mom is in there. My mom didn't show up. I'm worried about her. It's because I was talking about we were talking about cord cutting this morning on the phone. So, but thank you, everybody. You've been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week.
Later,
all right.
I will be in studio hopefully next week, and then I'll shoot you a reminder. But I think I'll double check. I think March 3rd a Tuesday.
That sounds right.
I don't think I can make March 3rd.
Okay, that's what I think. I think I'm into Florida the next morning. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we'll figure it out.
Cool.
Next week we got Amanda. And if that lines up and they're both here.
He said he is not hating the Apple phone, so I'm interested to see where this leads.
All right. Thanks, stream. We'll be back in under an hour with episode 700 of the Wrestling Mayhem Show.